The moment is finally here. I finally got around to editing this rat's nest of clips and gameplay to bring you, drumroll please, XDefiant's barrel extender. But does it do what it's telling you it does? And is it a good option to put on your weapons? Let's find out. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and after all the hoopla about the rapid fire barrel and the muzzle booster supposedly not affecting your recoil and essentially just giving you free rate of fire increases, I decided to investigate each individual attachment on each class of weapon to see if they are actually doing what they should be doing, as painstaking as that sounds. So if you haven't seen my video or the exclusive Aces video on the rapid fire barrel attachment, I'll give you a quick rundown and recap. The rapid fire barrel and the muzzle booster are two attachments in this game that increase your rate of fire, but also give you more recoil. It was originally thought that you got the rate of fire increase, but no increased recoil. That was until I was able to find out that it does give you more recoil, but only if you're moving your right stick if you're on controller, or mouse if you're on PC. Now, this is going to be the only time I give you this breakdown in the rest of this series, but I'd still recommend you go watch both of those videos on that topic. Also, if you enjoy this type of content and want to stick around and get updated when I break down the next attachment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And without further dilly-dallying, let's get into it. So the barrel extender is an attachment in the muzzle category and claims to increase both your short and medium range by about 10%. But it also reduces your recoil recovery and sprint to shoot time by 10% as well. So we're going to test 3 of those 4 things because we can't really accurately test recoil recovery until we get custom games or private matches, which I was sort of holding out hope for that we would have by now so that we could test everything, but we're going to have to make do with what we have. So for this attachment, we are going to test it on the ACR, the MP7, M870, M249, MK20 SSR, and the TAC-50, even though it's called a fluted muzzle on the TAC-50. But this video will only be about the assault rifles, using the ACR as an example. So up first is a crowd favorite and the ranked meta right now, the ACR. And I'm going to put an ACOG on it just so that we can see what we're shooting at from these ranges, and I'll take it off later. So basically the 10% in range translates to being about 21 damage per body shot up to 36 meters, and then it drops off and does 19 damage at 50 meters. So let's test these out. First up, we need to find a spot at about 36 meters, and because there's no 36 meter target and we can't accurately get a shot over on this side of the range, we're going to have to wing it and test it out on this side of things. So while we're getting over here, here's an idea. They should really add a movable target where you can input the distance away so you can test these things. But anyway, if we shoot one of these guys in the body, you'll see it does 21 damage. But if we get too far away, it will drop eventually to 19, just like that. So right here seems to be the furthest possible we can stand away and do 21 damage. But is it 36 meters? Well, here's a side-by-side comparison of the distance we're at now versus the distance from the 50 meter target, which should be about 14 meters further. So it feels and looks like it's accurate. Without a ping system in the game that shows distance, it's hard to tell exactly, but it looks about right. Now let's test the 50 meter shots at 19 damage. And the first thing you'll notice is that the 50 meter target you can shoot, you do 17. And I'm right against the table here. So even on the other side, we can't get a clear shot at a target to see the difference in drop off from 19 damage to 17 damage. But if we take a look at the old distance before we put the barrel extender on, it was 45 meters at this range, which 10% of that is 4.5. So they may just be rounding it up, and it's likely that your actual range is only 49.5 meters, and they just rounded up to 50. So that would explain why the 50 meter target doesn't quite hit for 19. So we'll let that one slide. So now let's test the sprint to shoot time, and for this we have removed the optic because optics sometimes slow down your ADS speed and we don't want it to interfere with any of our testing. So here's the sprint to shoot with no attachments, and then here it is again with the barrel extender. Now let's put them side by side and slow them down and take a look. Now both of these are at 1/10 of the normal speed, and what I did was I cut it to start at the first frame I pulled the right trigger and stopped it at the frame the first shot was fired. And surprisingly, they are identical. Same exact time for both. But this test didn't include ADS time. So I retested and found out what they actually mean by sprint to shoot time is from a full sprinting motion to a full ADS and fire. So here's that same test side by side, and the one with the barrel is 10% slower. So by the looks of everything, the barrel extender passes our quality check on the assault rifle class and seems to do everything it says it does. 10% less sprint to shoot time on this particular gun is a very, very small margin and will be impossible to detect in a gunfight. Which leads us to the question, is the barrel extender worth putting on any of the assault rifles? Now, this video would be extra long if we started breaking down the damage on each weapon, so I'll spare you the math class. But after looking at all the ARs, including the new LVOAC, the barrel extender by itself probably isn't worth it for any of these ARs. I would only recommend this attachment if you're going to pair it with the chrome line barrel, which now feels like a great time to explain just how attachment stats stack up when using multiple attachments that give an increase to the same stat. So we see the base mid-range damage for this ACR is 45 meters. By adding a barrel extender, it gives you plus 10% to that stat, meaning 4.5 meters, which in this case, they rounded up to 5 and it puts us at 50. But if you add just a chrome barrel, it increases it by 20% of the base number, which is 9 meters, which would give you 54, as we see here. Now these two numbers get added together to give us a total of 13.5 meters. So we see with both added, we actually get 58 meters, which is a plus 13 meter increase. So this one, they do jip you on the half a meter, but whatever. What some people think is that if you add one attachment, it increases, and then adding the next attachment takes the new stat from adding the first attachment, and then it keeps stacking that way. And if it did that, then the mid-range distance for the ACR would be 20% more than the 50 meters it already is now with the barrel extender. That would mean if we added a chrome barrel on top of that, it would be 60 meters, but it's not. So understand how these numbers are actually stacking when you put multiple attachments on the gun, or just pay attention to the numbers on this screen. That's what they're there for. I personally go by feel in game, not these stats when I build my own weapons, but to each their own. That's all for this video. Please, 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 if you made it all the way to the end, comment the term multical from the side of this ACR, and also let me know if you like this sort of content and like the video. That will let me know that you guys want me to investigate more attachments like this and make more of these videos, as it does take quite a bit of time to make these. So I'd really appreciate any feedback that you have. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.